Hello, happy weekend, everyone. Welcome to this live stream. Today, actually, is going to be the first collaboration live stream I'll be doing with a guest, and our guest is so special to me. Hi, everyone. If you're just watching this and you're just seeing me for the first time, this is Heritage Mama. I talk about mother, marriage, and relationship. And today is a special day. I've and this can do back to back with her. But one thing or the other will happen. She's busy. Even right now that she wants to join us today, she's busy. I just got to know that she's writing a professional exam, you know. So it's okay. So if you are watching me on this live stream, welcome. If you're catching up with the replay, welcome. Please do well, stay tuned because it's gonna be an amazing day with our guest. Today we'll be discussing on marriage, motherhood, career. How does she balance it? She has been doing this for over many years now. How does she balance it? So that is what we are here for today. So if you are in, let me know. If you are in, let me know. If you are in, let me know. How are you? Trust you're good. Trust you're fine. Let me know who will be our first guest today. So I actually want to lay the foundation before my guest will come in. So how are you doing? How are you doing? I'm so happy today. It's a very special one because you have a great time. If you're catching up with the replay, please do well to watch to the very end as my guest will be joining in a few minutes time. So we'll dive into it. But before then, how are you doing? Let me know if you're watching me. Where are you watching me from? Where are you watching me from? And if you're catching up with the replay also, where are you watching me from? Or that's when you're watching me. So how are you doing? So let's wait until people start coming in. Then our guests will also come in. I'm so happy and excited to do this today. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. If you're joining in, let me know where you're watching me from. Trust you're good. Let me know where you're watching me from. You know, it's a great day with me here in Lagos, Nigeria. So let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know. I need to share this with my community people so they get to join in. Where are you watching me from? Let me know where you're watching me from. While we wait for our guest, where are you watching me from? Yeah, actually, this month of August, I've actually wanted to have this particular topic from last month. I've been scheduling, and it came actually good time also. I'm already trying to round up on my storytelling time. Hello, how are you doing? Let me know where you're watching me from. Please let me see in the comment section where you're watching me from. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where you're watching it from. Hi. So we're waiting for our guest actually. Our guest will soon be in, but I want us to gather momentum together before our guest get right in. So where are you watching me from? My first viewer, please drop me a message in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know where you're watching me from. My very first viewer of the day. So as you come in, please do how to double tap on your screen to like the video. Do how to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not done that. Because I talk about motherhood, marriage, and relationship. And today we're talking about marriage, motherhood, and career. A woman, a particular woman handling all those three and doing exploits. If you're just joining, double tap on your screen to like this video, double tap on your screen to like this video, and do what to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk about motherhood, marriage, and relationship, and very soon my guests will be joining in. But before then, let's gather momentum together. Where are you watching me from? Let me know in the comment section. Drop me a message in the comment section. Where are you watching me from? Where are you watching Heritage Mama from? I'm happy to have everyone here today. It's a special one. It's an amazing one. I've been looking out for this day, and this is my first collaboration video with anyone whatsoever. And with the person I actually know, you will have heard a story over and over this month because this month I'm doing a series of my motherhood journey. This month, let me just say, precisely tomorrow, 24th of August, my second son will be clocking one. and I'm also clocking 1 year postpartum tomorrow. So all through this month from hi Adam, hi, hello, how are you? Please double tap on your screen to like this video. Do want to share this video with one or two friends of yours that you think need to be in here because we are in for it today. It's a great time to have my guest, and my guest will be coming in very soon. So we'll be talking about motherhood, how she balances marriage, motherhood, and career. It's been amazing for her. I've known her for years. This is not the person that I just met by the wayside. She married for 11 years, right? I've known her for close to 12 years, if not more than 12 years. So you know that I know this person I'm bringing in for you guys. Hi, Adam. How are you? Please, you're just joining. Please let me know where you're joining me from. How are you? Please double tap on your screen to like this video. Double tap on your screen to like this video. Double tap. Walk to wealth. Double tap on your screen to like this video. If you're joining in, double tap on your screen to like this video. Double tap on your screen to like this video. Hey, Mama.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Ma.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Welcome. Have you here, Ma.
Same here.
Yeah, also have you here. Please, if you're just joining in, please double tap on your screen. Like this video and do want to share. Please don't say me. I need to share this. I wanted it to come like before I share with my community.
All right. Okay.
After rescheduling and rescheduling.
Mm.
And I'm also happy to hear that in her busy schedule, she was able to give us time. She just told me now that she's writing an exam and she's going to tell us more about that.
My pleasure. Uh, Sorry. I'm still trying to adjust my phone holder.
Okay. All right. Welcome, ma. Good afternoon, ma.
Good
So I guess
afternoon.
we are happy to have you here, ma. God bless
Thank
you,
you.
ma. So our guest is a great woman, which I adored. If you guys have been watching my series in this month where I'm talking about my Motherhood series, you will have heard about her. You might not know. This is her. I was saying that I actually wanted to give birth to my son on her birthday just because I so much love and honor her strength sincerely till now that I've known her over the years. I cannot define how she's getting that strength now. And it's an honor for me to have you as my first um, guest to collaborate with me on this YouTube channel. And I know that this particular day will be an impactful one for anyone joining us. And they're going to learn one or two things from you when you share your story with us. And I'm happy to have you here, man. But just let
Same
me
here.
back. I want to say that our guest, Mrs. Tosin Ayemo, is a great woman, and she has been married for 11 years, a proud mom of three, and also she's thriving in her career. Yet she have been, I don't know how she has been able to navigate this journey so far, but I know it is the grace of God, the strength and the wisdom of God. If I may also add, like I said earlier, that our guest, I've known her for, let me say, close to 12 years thereabouts. I shall know that it's more than 11 years that I've known her. Anyways, and
Mhm.
she's a Christian woman. Um, she's what can I say again? She's a worker in divine yard, so that you guys don't just think that every career woman don't have any other thing doing than being a career woman. She's a great woman working in divine yard, and not just a small church, a great church for that matter. You're welcome, man. God
Thank
bless you,
you.
man.
It's my
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank
So,
you.
we would like to hear from you, man. What do you have for us today? Today we're talking about how you balance your marriage, your motherhood journey, and also your career. We want to hear your story. We want you to encourage us, the young ones. You have been married for 11 years. I know you should tell us more about that. You have been married for, I'm just his child. I've been married for only 4 years. I'm still learning to work. So we want to learn from you, Ma. Can we meet you, Ma? Thank you for coming once again.
Okay. I think you said a lot already. My name is
No, we want
Olua.
to hear
My name is okay. Let me hype myself a little. My name is Oluwatosin. Those who know me from way
Yes.
back call me Her Excellency because I share
Yeah.
updates with my people when I see good things as they ought. All right, so I'm married to Mr. Olayinka Ayomo. As he said, I've been married for 11 years, and to the glory of God, we have three children, one, two boys and one girl, and that's all.
Ooh.
To the glory of God.
All right, ma'am. But I would still like you to tell us a little about yourself. Okay, you talked about yourself, but what I want to know now about yourself, you as a woman yourself, about your career and your motherhood journey. How have you been able to scale through these three phases of life? Because I know that it might be challenging one way or the other, but how have you been able to do it? Let us just know a little about it before we dive into it. Though you mentioned one or two things, but you didn't talk about your career. So let us know just a little about it, then we'll go on.
All right. Without sounding like I'm blowing my own trumpet, I am a chartered accountant. I'm a chartered accountant. I studied accounting from the University of Lagos. That's the University of best choice and first choice. Currently, I'm running an executive MBA with the Lagos Business School. I I used to work with one of the big fours. That's Ernst and Young. That's where I got most of my experience from. Before I left,
Okay.
I started joining the industry, as we say. Yeah. So currently, I work with a private equity firm in Lagos, Nigeria, and what else? Yeah, that's it, I guess. So how
Okay.
have I been able to balance?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say I've been able to balance it, but we just keep taking things as it comes, one at a time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. But you can hear that by yourself. She's still running a course, and I think that what inspired me much about her that she's never resting. If you want to call her today and say everything, she'll tell you she's reading. Ha!
Mhm.
I'll be like, what am I doing with my life? We'll be there, hello, my sister, answer you with activities. You just say she's preparing for an exam. I was just, how is this woman doing it? Exam upon exam upon exam. But to the glory of God that have been helping her. So if you're just joining in, please double tap on your screen to like the video. Want to subscribe to this channel. And also, if you do well to share this video with one or two friends of yours, maybe that is trying to balance or navigate life, please, you can share this video with them. If you are catching up with the replay also, you can share the video with them. So going on to my second question, ma'am, I said looking at 11 years ago, what were your expectations about marriage and how have they changed? Have anything changed about your expectation? Because most of the time when we are going there, we want this, we want that, but this is 11 years now. Have any of the expectations changed in your marriage and how has it been so far? 11 years.
Well, the funny expectation I had before I got married was about number of children, because I grew up in a large family. I have five sisters, two brothers. So I honestly just thought that a family should be large. That was the normal thing for me. So I thought that when I get married, I would at least have five children, because I couldn't imagine a home with children fewer than five.
Okay.
But after the first child, though the birth experience wasn't traumatic, but just the normal simple experience made me understand that no, doing five children would be doing too much. So I quickly aligned with my husband, who believed in having three as the maximum number. I quickly understood why three was a reasonable number. So I think that's the major change in mind shift for me. So yeah. So right now I feel like I have a lot with the three children I have. They fill the house already.
You know, man, that sometimes I imagine that how have our parents able to do that? That
I don't
some
know.
have seven, some have eight, and they were able to do it. Though we might still say that there are some that we're not able to give them the standard that they ought to, but they are just able to have more children and they don't feel like it's anything. But God is helping
Mm,
us in our generation. Also, sometimes they go to her, I needed more, but when I start seeing how everything is, I said, no, 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 let us be alive.
yeah.
God has been helping you so far. Okay, now I also want to ask Mother, when you became a mom for the first time, What was the biggest surprise or challenges? What after giving birth to your first child? What was the biggest challenge at the first
Uh,
time you had?
I think for me, the biggest challenge would be breastfeeding. So I found out that
Oh,
I couldn't lactate as I should, or as those kids want. They are always on the breast, always sucking every now and then. And I found that I couldn't produce, as much milk as these children want. So even though I would have loved to do, as people would do, exclusive 6 months, in my case, apart from the fact that I was a working mother, I even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to, because lactating wasn't didn't come so easily for me. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge. Yeah.
oh wow. And you know that I just made a video also. This month I've been trying to narrate my motherhood journey just with two. I've just been able to tell my story. And the very last video I uploaded was my breastfeeding journey, how I
Mm.
suffered a little in my
Mm.
first child, how I was struggling my life all through before I got the hold of it. But when I got to my second child, I was able to get that hack. I shared it
Mm.
in that particular video. So if you're watching this live stream now, do well to watch that particular video. If you're also facing this challenge one way or the other, or one person or the other is facing the feeling challenge, you can well to watch it. Sincerely, it's somehow if you are not careful. I see sometimes when I was able to lactate well, when I had my first, I will literally be crying and I
Yeah.
will call it my husband. I put this one like buy it again, buy it, there will be changes. I see this one, I will really be crying. I will be like, am I a good mother? Because I just want to I want to give back. Everything will start popping.
Yeah.
It's a lie. And I
Yeah.
also hear it from our guest today. I said she had that challenge, and I know that
Mm.
one or two persons will have that challenge. Don't you are not a bad mom. You can't lactate. It's just your body or one thing or the other that is not being done right. But I know everyone is going to be fine. Your child will be fine, just like I used to say, whether you are there or not, the child will be fine. So it's better for you to be fine for yourself and also for the child. All right. So if you're not joining, please double tap on your screen, like this video, do what to share. And also you can drop comments as you watch. If you have any question as she progress on this journey, please do what to share your question. So now I will be asking some questions about your marriage. It's actually not an hot seat, I know, but it's just I want it to be interactive. I want you to really, really share. Though I know you really give yourself all out, so I want you to really share with people so that those people that are seeking help in one way or the other will be able to get direction even after now. I want you to share how has marriage played a role in shaping your career journey? Has marriage really help you to tone down on your career or help you to want to do more? We want to know, man. Do you get me, man? Hello, man. Oh,
Sorry, I muted myself. Yes. So can you hear me now?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
So
yes.
so personally, I am a self-driven individual. So I am not the type that needs someone to push me, especially when it comes to my career. I do not really need an external push. I can tell myself, get up, read, get up, apply for this job, get up, do this and that. So yeah, so I'm self-driven. So the benefit I got from marriage was that I had a spouse who was not intimidated by my ambitious moves. It's a different thing for you to be self-driven, very ambitious, seeking to be better than yesterday, and having a spouse who is intimidated by those bold moves and those bold steps. So in my case, I am blessed by God because I have a spouse who is not intimidated by me, trying to do things. Instead of being intimidated, it takes inspiration. So oftentimes when I do something this year, I'm very sure that by next year my spouse is also doing same thing. So there's that mutual support, and then that I get. I think that has been beneficial for me.
Wow. So that
Thank
that is
you.
I used to say to them, if God help one to marry right, then there won't be much issue. It's only when there's one issue or the other, then that when you be struggling yourself. You say you want to do this, your husband will say
Mm,
no, no, don't do that. Then
mm.
wow, that's great. That's great. So in what ways as well, okay, you even said it already. You said in what way as your husband challenge you um in balancing your family and work? Is there any time that your husband have challenged you on how probably one way or the other you are lacking behind balancing family and marriage? Has there been any challenge over the years?
Not really, because we are in the same marriage together. So he's not playing his husband role from afar. We are in the house together. We see how things where
Okay.
he's challenging me. "Ah, you are not doing this." Because if there's anything I'm not doing well, there will always be a reason. So is either so yeah. So he's understanding. That's just to say. And yeah, so the only area where I know he probably would once in a while tell me, it seems you are lacking behind, would be in my
Oh, I think the network is lacking from yes. But just joining in, please do well to double tap on your screen. Like this video, do well to share, do well to drop your comment as this video is going on so that we are going to ask your question in any way you've been inspired during this particular live stream. Please do well to drop in the comment section. Let's relate. Let's relate. Let's communicate. I think there's an issue with network over there. I know she will surely find a way around this before we move on. So if you're just watching, we are talking about how our guest balances marriage, mother, and our career, and how has it been so far. So that is our focus for today. So if you're not joining in, do well to double tap on your screen, like this video, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk about mother, marriage, and relationship. I know our guest is going to join us right away. Not, I know she's having one or two network issues. So if you're not going, let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know where you're watching me from. And what have you learned so far? You know, she mentioned something that marriage rights, and that is what I've been advocating for. Marriage rights. Yeah, you get why. Just like you say, get why. So that when you want to take moves, there won't be issue, there won't be hindrances on, oh, you want to do this, no, 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 you can't do that. Not that you're married woman, you know, all those type of limitations, she's not finding it at all because God has helped her to marry right. And I pray as much for as many people that are watching me, trusting God for a great home, God will grant unto you in the name of Jesus. And as many that are married also that are still trying to find their food concerning their career, concerning journey of life. I pray God Almighty to grant us direction in the name of Jesus. We are expecting our guests to join in soon. So she will join in soon. So let us just wait for her to join in. If you're watching me, please double tap on your screen to like this video. Do want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Do want to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I talk about motherhood, marriage, and relationship. So if you're just joining in, let me know where you're watching me from. It's a great day in the year for me. A great day that I also want to learn from an 11-year-old woman. I'm just 4 years plus, heading to 5 years. But to the glory of God, I've been able to learn one or two because this my guest literally I lived in their house for some years before I got married. My husband is my uncle and we have been in together for a while now. So it's all good that I'm having her as a first guest today, as my first guest today. So they're just joining in. Please do well. Drop a comment for me. Let me know where you're watching me from. Drop a comment for me. Double tap on your screen to like the video. Tap on your screen, like this video as we wait on for our guests to join right back. We are waiting for our guests to join right back. Just give me some minutes. took me away, right? Or it's still the same, like starting all over again. I don't know why. Wow. Please do what to double tap on your screen. Do what to double tap on your screen. Do what to double tap on your screen to like the video. Drop me comment as you join it. Drop me comment as you join it. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me know where you're watching me from. And as I said, just like what she was saying that she was having issues with breastfeeding, that was the very last video. That was the very last video I dropped in. Welcome back, man. That was the very last video I dropped in on my struggles in breastfeeding my first, and I was able to do one or two things better for my second. You're welcome, man. Wow, what is happening? Hello, man. As you join, please drop me a comment in the comment section. Where are you watching me from? Trust you are good. As you join, let me know where you're watching me from. As you join, let me know where you're watching me from. Trust you are good. Trust you're fine. We are discussing on how. Yeah, thank you, man. Welcome back. Hello, man. Can you hear me? You are muted. You are muted. I can't hear you. Our guest is muted. I think she will soon. We can't hear you, man. You're muted. Hello, man. We can't hear you. Oh, I think she's having one or two issues. So she's gonna fix that and join us. So I said earlier that I'm dropping a particular series. I'm still gonna drop more, like two or three more before the month runs out. I'm dropping a series on my motherhood journey, and it has been a great time for me this month. I think he's joining back. It has been a great time for me this month. And come back now.
So sorry, so sorry. I lost power on my phone.
Yeah, I got your message. No problem. Welcome back, man.
Hmm.
So we're discussing uh maybe one way or the other you've been facing challenges whatsoever. You saying that they have not been really a challenge, and where you stopped was where you're talking about the only challenge you got from your husband is about your spiritual uh
Yeah,
activity.
yeah,
You should just continue
yeah,
from that.
yes, yes. So there is one can get so busy, and then you are not studying the Bible every day as a Christian should. You are not maybe praying every day as a Christian should. So sometimes I see him trying to awaken me to the importance of still ensuring that despite my busy schedules, I do not relegate the need for daily communion with God to the background. I think that's it for me. Yeah.
So I think this is why the Bible said it's not good for us. It's not really for a man to be. It's not good for anybody to be alone. If you are not
Yes.
even married, if you have a friend around you, they'll be able to check up on you and know, okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, how have you been? And it's actually a challenging one for me also, I would like, because
Yeah.
every when I started to, all I want to do is to do YouTube video. My husband will say,
Yeah.
how have you done a devotion?
Yeah.
Once you know that I keep quiet, you know that I'm not doing this.
You've not done.
You know,
Yeah.
go and do it. Because if you're not careful, time, years, months are just going by, and we'll
Yeah.
just be keeping
Yeah.
stopping our own self. Yeah. I
And
think God will
most
help
of
us.
as they say, you cannot give from an empty vessel. And the only way you get refilled is by staying close to the Holy Spirit, by staying close to the Word of God. So if you keep running around with your daily activities, with all your plans and purposes, without finding time to make sure you are in God's presence, you will soon. It's just a matter of time. You will soon run out of inner strength, inner energy So I find him, just trying to draw me back to make sure that I am maintaining a balance in that aspect. I think another aspect where he challenges me, I don't want to use the word challenge, where he Yoruba we say yes, or something like that. Is also in the area of my health, because I juggle many things at the same time, and sometimes he wonders if I will not break down. So I find him, telling it may be simple things like drink water, drink, because I, for instance, don't drink enough water as I should. So he would say, Have you drank water today? Things like that. Little things that has to do with my well-being, which I may get so busy not to bother about. Being in marriage with someone who cares, the person, keeps reminding you of the importance of you staying in good health. Because at the end of the day, they say health is wealth. So you may be trying to become this and that. The day one breaks down or the day one gives up, and hand comes to it. Even the old motherhood thing, the day one dies, an hand will come to it. So I find him just trying to make sure that I pay attention to my health and rest when I need to rest. See a doctor when I'm complaining that I think I feel tired. I feel tired. Sometimes for like 2 3 days, you just be saying I'm feeling headache. So you will not be like, have you seen a doctor? You've been saying it for for 2 3 days. So yeah, so it provides such support and it's really very helpful.
That is very true because I think it was done on me a particular time. I think last month I had to do a video on that. That I was saying how I took my own self care serious. I've been feeling this pain on my foot, and I'll be complaining to my husband. If you help me do it, sometimes he will not even understand. He will say I should go and see the pharmacist. I was then just waiting for me to go. And do you believe that I've been feeling that pain for some, let me say, almost a year now before I took a step. I was able to share it on that video that when I took a step, when I was tired of the pain, whenever I wake up in the night, I will want to stand up. I can't put my feet on the ground. I will be so pained. Uh, Before I was taking a child bath after I do bath. Then I said,
Mm,
okay, let me just, and I went to the pharmacy. He was telling me that is a particular vein that is weak in that foot that I need to take something to boost it up. Can you imagine, man? Like, immediately he gave me that particular tablet to use. Sincerely, like I should go and watch it because immediately I used that tablet, the child that night, the pain went away, like it was the one that
mm,
put it there. So I was
mm,
beginning to think that wow, that actually just taking time out to take care of myself and not just be thinking because of this,
mm,
because of that. I will have
mm,
been better now. Many
mm.
things like that just help us as women. Like we should not
Amen.
just carry everything on our head and leave our own
And
self
neglect
to some.
ourselves, yes.
Even some women they have that issue when they are pregnant or when they are not seeing a particular child. And I remember you even saying that story sometime ago that
Mm,
Mongo that when you stop breastfeeding him, that when you're sick, that you have to say, okay, stop breastfeeding for him so that you recuperate by yourself. Because
yeah,
sometimes at that period, some women will insist that they want to continue at the
yeah.
detriment of their own. I don't know if you
Mm.
can share of that story, man. And I'm sorry for saying something. I told you earlier that she is my family person. Someone I've been with over some years and I've always loved, appreciated her, even as I'm at a distance to her that we're not really together again, we are still together. But once in a while, just even my husband will say, have you called your uncle, have you called the family? I'll say, he so much love the family, even because of there's when you carry somebody and when you get
Yeah,
another person, you carry them the way and that's what
exactly.
even loved about this man, about my husband. Like
Mm.
anybody I've carried on his shoulder, this person will help me carry them. Like he will even carry them more than I ever thought. So I I was beginning to say that okay, how did this woman jump this? I think that was what strike that conversation the other day. We were talking about.
Mm.
I sincerely, I was like, even till now, I'm still wondering. I know you have help to do, but still, there's nothing like you cannot get 100% help for anybody. Your
Yeah,
work, you are doing it, and I know the type of work you do also. It deals with your, if you're not careful, your mental health will take because you
yeah,
are doing so many things. I don't know if you can just share little with us about what you really do. Not really in depth, but what you can really call, okay, this is what I do and this is how I do it. I know you're an auditor. How do you really do your thing and managing the front.
Mm.
Yes, I want to talk about that.
Okay, so currently I'm no longer an auditor. Okay, so when I used to
Okay.
work, yes, so I used to work with an audit firm, but I've left.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
by 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 what will I say? I'm a chartered accountant. So as a chartered accountant, you can be an auditor, you can be a tax consultant, you can be an investment advisor, you can be many things. Okay. So I've left that season of being an auditor since I left Ernst and Young. Okay, so but maybe I should just still speak through how did I cope. So there are many coping mechanisms, and as most people would say, and as I've mentioned to you also privately, what works for A may not necessarily work for B. So everyone is
Yes.
supposed to look at their own circumstance and determine how they are going to manage their own front, such that there is there is some form of sanity. So I wouldn't say balance. Because when we say balance, it looks like a 50-50. It may not be 50-50. Today it may be 80-20, 70-30, 60-40, 90-10. Yeah, but at every point in time, you're just making sure you are sane. You don't go crazy, your husband doesn't go crazy, your children don't go wild. So the coping mechanisms for me are many things. For I would always say this: number one, family planning. So I already knew that I was in a job that was very demanding. And it's also a job where you want to be promoted. When I was in the audit firm, you want to promote it from being an associate to senior associate to manager and all of that. And you can't be having children like every year and you expect the firm to promote you, because no matter how much value you deliver, they may likely not see it, because every now and then you are taking 3 months out for maternity leave. You are saying, I want to take my child for immunization. I want to do this and that. It would, no matter how strong you are, it would affect your performance at work. And when they are appraising, if they want to be fair, you can't get the same appraiser as someone who gave in their best, most of the time. So I already saw that, and having that understanding, I knew that I could not, even if I really wanted to, I could not have children like every one and a half years, as others probably would do. So that was a coping mechanism for me. Because if I have too many kids within a short period of time, it would become a burden on me and my husband. And then there'll be pressure on the family front. So, and I assessed myself. I knew that I couldn't get much help from my mother or my mother-in-laws. My mom, as at that time, was working, so the maximum time she could spend with us at any point in time was a 1 month vacation from work. So anything more than 1 month, she has to return to work. So I just had to apply my sense. I can't have my mother come with me for more than 1 month. My mother-in-law was an aged woman. She definitely would love to be around, but there is little to the help. So so all of those things were part of the reasons why I took family planning seriously from the very first child. So what some people do is they wait till they are done with having kids before they embark on family planning, and that works for them maybe because they are in a relaxed job environment, or they are self-employed, so they can manage their own front better. But in my case, I knew I was in a high-paced career environment, so I couldn't afford to play my games the same way others would. So from the very first child, I started family planning. So that is one of the coping mechanisms. Secondly is from the very first child also we started getting house help. I like to call them housekeeper. So I know many people frown at this, and they have all the right to frown at it if it is not something they are aligned with. But in my case, the only way I could make sure that my home doesn't suffer is to have someone at home to look after the kids before I return home. Because as at that time, I would return home maybe around maybe 9 p.m., some 9:30, 10 sometimes. My husband will also maybe come home around that time, 8, 8:30. So between the time the kids close from school, which is usually about 3, 4, there should be someone to look after them between that time and when we return. So that made it imperative for us to get housekeepers. And as people will say, they will say they are necessary evil. Yes, it was. And what we did as Christians is then to commit it before God, that God should, at every point in time, send us, the right person. And when I say the right person, I don't mean the perfect human being, because there will be no perfect human being. I'm an employee myself, and at work, I am not perfect all the time. I make mistakes, I drop the ball, but I just try to give in my best. So my expectation of my housekeeper also is not someone that is perfect, someone that never sleeps, never makes mistake. No. I just want someone that is agreeable, someone that I can speak to, we understand, someone that can quickly adjust to our home and our values. And God has actually been faithful. I've had many housekeepers, because these people, you can't tie them down. They also have their lives to live. People want an housekeeper that will stay with them and stay for 10 years. I think that is evil. You want somebody to serve you for 10 years. You don't want the person to ever get married, to go to school, to start a business, to become someone. So they should train your children from kindergarten to university under your roof. How much are you paying them for that? So in my case, if my people live, and they have a right to live. But each time God keeps sending, people to stand in gap, and to God be the glory. Okay, so what other coping mechanism? Um, I think those are the two. I receive help from my housekeepers that the Lord has sent to me. Two, I apply my own brain also to space the birthing of my children.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you said you mentioned something that some women actually, whether they're in career or not, some are afraid of doing it. They might even not even take steps, but at the distance they're afraid of that particular first thing you mentioned. And I think we discussed about it the other day when you're talking about family planning. Though
Yeah.
I know that it depends on what work for a particular individual, but
Mm.
you already told us that what gave you the boldness or the number one reason for you to go there is because of your career to keep it in
Yes.
shape. Years now, hope the particular family planning have been working for you so well, right? I should be
Mm-hmm.
able to ask that. Because many people will say maybe they did one, it failed, or the other, or that maybe that was why they don't really want to go. Maybe you can also
Mm.
help us to know it loud and clear that probably just encourage one or two persons watching that want
Mm.
to take that step. Please, ma, can you just do that for us?
All right. So I am not a medical practitioner, so I believe that the best place to get, more explanation would be to visit an health center or hospital. But from my experience, I understand there are several kind of family planning methods. Uh, you can use contraceptives such as you can use condoms. Okay, people who are comfortable with that can use that. Personally, I and my husband, I think we tried it once, and it just didn't. It felt very strange, and we never tried afterwards. Okay, but some people are able to master the art, and I give it up to them. I think it makes sense in the sense that it is not intrusive. You're not injecting yourself with anything and all of that. You use it after, and so it's kind of simple. So for those who that works for, I think they should go ahead with it. So the other ones are such that you need to visit the hospital for, which is either to get injections. For the injections, I think what it does is to reduce a certain hormone that helps you with maybe producing egg or something like that. I don't have the scientific explanation. So the injection could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. I'm not sure if there is any that stays longer than that. Okay, so I have tried it 2 months, but now that I've stopped, that I do not want any baby anymore. I've now stepped up to three three months. Okay,
Wow.
so I know there is also some that is being inserted. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So I think those take a longer time. You can once you get the insertion, I guess after 5 years or so, you that's when you go and do it again. Yes. So I don't have much details about that. But I may likely go for that too later, as we get to that age where I am now sure that nothing about childbirth. Maybe I will migrate to that. So, but I think those are the options that are available. So, but what is advisable is that people should you should go to the hospital, speak with health practitioners. They can tell you more about these various options, and you can make a choice. Having discussed with your spouse. I believe this kind of thing should be discussed with your spouse, so that you can both agree on what you think is comfortable. And the truth of the matter is, when you even start with one, if it doesn't work out, there is nothing stopping you trying another. So it's not as though you will be stuck with one particular method forever. Of course, there's another option which people talk about is the natural option, which is the what's natural option? Okay, maybe that is about calculating your ovulation period. Yes, yes. Though I have fairly good grade in maths, but I'm not good with calculating all this population and all of that. In the sense that I'm afraid that I will make a mistake and then
Yes.
Bele will enter. Uh, I don't want to hear super stories. Yeah, but some people are very good. Their menstrual period is very clear. They know when it starts, when it ends. They know the signs of their ovulation, so they can really monitor these things and track. So for such people, I congratulate them. I think that's an option they can consider. One very risky option that people also do, which has worked also for years for many, is the pull out. People who have a very pull out, whose pull out game is very on point. They do it and it works for them fine. But the day we shall come and celebrate twins with you is coming.
They be saying that they say that there's nobody that is afraid of pregnancy than married people. I don't know if
Yeah,
that's true, but it's
yeah.
true. Wait, but I think after this even cancel me myself, that it's good for you to visit them, to be able to talk to them and know what really works for you, And you mentioned something that some people will have tried more, and once it's not really working out with them, they just lock up and say, "Oh, I'm
Hmm.
not doing it." But you already encourage us that even though you do a particular one and it's not working for you, do well to do another method so that you'll be able to know which particular one fits. But I
Yes,
think that will help us.
yes. Then I was
That
going
will
to
help.
add. I was going to add that the good thing about this is that in most public health institutions, you will get these things for free. Yes, I have never paid a dime in my entire 11 years of marriage for the family planning. I visit the nearest health center. Even when I move houses, I will look for the nearest health center around me. Once I present to them the card I used in my previous place, they continue with it. So you may have to pay when you go to a private hospital, but in public health centers, it is free. So there's absolutely no reason on earth why anybody should have a surprise pregnancy and then start blaming God.
Are you talking to me?
Well, don't
Oh
worry.
God. And
Children are the
you know what?
heritage of God.
Welcome. Thank you for joining. Happy weekend. Please watch the tap on your screen to like the video. It's been an interesting time on this live stream. So do watch the tap on your screen to like the video. Also do want to subscribe. I talk about motherhood, marriage, and relationship. But today, this particular guest of mine covers up with marriage. She's doing well in her motherhood journey to the glory of God. I know she wants to say, and also she's doing well in her career. So we're trying to um look at it. How should we encourage us, the young ones that are still babies in marriage, 4 years, right? And she's 11.
Yeah, mama.
God have been helping her. God have been helping. But do you know what, that there's something I heard of when I went to the health center the last time to take immunization for my son while he was 9 months. But I forgot. Okay, I didn't forget. I was not procrastinating till it was 10 months before I went for the particular immunization, but we took it. But as we were there, they were the matron was now explaining to us that there is a particular injection they give to men also. Because I don't know, because before I used to be like, are they partial in the medical section to the point that it's only we women that go through a lot of all those things. We go through childbirth by ourselves, we go through menstrual issues, and now when it is time for family planning, it's the woman that will stick with. So there's nothing bad in over the years, but that particular matron was able to tell us in that particular gathering that there is a particular injection, they call it Adam's injection or something, that men now receive for family planning. I don't know if anyone watching this, I'm not saying it's total authentic. You guys just try to find out about it if you will want to. I'm just saying. So She said the particular injection they just brought up now that even in that center they're giving it now that they give to men for family planning. So that works for
Mhm.
2 years for the man. So instead of the woman going for the family planning, the man can also do. That was what she was trying to. And I know that there's also vasectomy or something. Do you know about that, man?
Yes, 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 yes. I've heard about it. Yes, yes.
And I think
So
now more
yeah.
and more people outside Nigeria that do it well, that do it well.
Mm.
Okay, so now is asking about the topic. We are talking about marriage, motherhood, and career. And the question is to our guest that how did she balance? So our guest is sharing her real life story with us, real life journey, how she have been able to do these three things, and God have been helping her so far. So that is our topic for everyone just joining in. That is our discussion of how she has been able to manage a marriage, a career, and also being a mom. So our discussion. If you just joining, please don't tap on your screen, like the video, share if you want to share with one or two persons that you think needs to hear one or two things about this. So she was actually telling us about how she have been able to do something, how she have been able to manage. And one thing she mentioned was family planning. That's helped her in her career so far. And God have been helping her. So we're able to just relate on that. And then I think we should talk about your motherhood journey. Though you said that one of your struggles way back then was breastfeeding your child and all that. Now I want to ask that what does a typical day look like with you balancing marriage, motherhood, and career? Even though when I know you mentioned that you have housekeepers that help with the children and all that, but can you just maybe give us a narration of a typical day in your life? It should be within the week. And also weekend. You know you taught me something I need to keep this in and I think I've discussed it with you one day or the other. Or probably I didn't tell you. Maybe you're hearing it now. There's something I learned when I was living in your house back then that no matter how tired you are, no matter how your day went, once you get back home, you always have time for the children. And that particular thing helped me when I had my first, when I was working, coming back from the island. I would just look at the boy like this, like, am I your mother? But when I remember you, I would just start playing with him. But I also like the fact that my husband will ensure that he's not sleep most of the time before I come back home. So I'll be able to use that period to relate with the child. And I've learned that over the years that no matter how busy, no matter whichever is taking care of the child, you are still the mother. How have you still be able to take ownership of that? Looking at your busy
Mm.
schedule, how have you been able to take ownership? You know, some people will say, I don't know, I know that's not your own. Some people will say in their house that their children regard them as auntie. You know,
Mm.
those parents that are not really
Mm.
even available at all. They then when the child look at you and call you auntie, be like, I get back to you, my friend. But how have you been able to do that like a typical day in your life? How will you tell us that? Most especially a particular stressful one, just narrate it to us how your day, a typical day on how you do that. Your mother journey, your marriage, and also your career. How can you relate it to us?
Okay, so a typical day is just a typical day. I prefer to. Okay, so let me start again. So I always have housekeepers. Okay, and one of the things I do when I'm trying to employ an housekeeper is I make sure they are matured. Okay, so I don't. I mean, I try not to take people who are underage or very young because you can't leave three children in the hands of someone who is just barely a teenager. Okay. So I try to engage people that are in their mid 20s, even late 20s. I've had someone that was in her early 30s. I'm sure you remember Auntie Dupe. So yeah, so that I have comfort that okay, this person, if there is an issue with a child, the person can use his or her initiative, to do the right thing. Okay. So that saves me a lot of stress of maybe receiving many calls while I'm at work. Mommy this, mommy that. It hardly happens because I always engage people who are matured. Now, for some people, that is going to be an issue because they will be afraid that let this one not go and take my husband, let him not seduce my husband. Okay, but but in my home. to the glory of God, not by the power of man. It has not been an issue. And sometimes for this kind of situation, you just have to pick. You are faced with two options, and you just have to make a choice. So I made a choice, and I trusted God, trusted my husband, that it will not be an issue, and it has not been an issue. So that is one. Second thing is that I make the best use of my Saturdays. The truth of the matter is there's only very little you can do during the weekday. I make the best use of my Saturday. So for Saturdays, I hardly go to parties. I hardly go somewhere. I will be in the house. So I will see those children from morning till night. We'll play together. I can check their homework. I can check their wardrobe if there is a clothes, because sometimes you just find that one shoe is bad, one clothes has torn. It's on Saturday that I take my time to see all these things. It's on Saturday I check their body. Sometimes if I have the strength, I make sure I bathe all three of them on Saturdays. By bathing them, I get to see if there's an injury somewhere, if there's a pain somewhere. Yeah. So at least whoever the housekeeper is will even feel my presence that Saturday, because I'll relieve her of most of the things she does. And one of the things I make sure I do, despite the fact that I have housekeepers, is on Saturdays I do my shopping myself. So I go to the market, buy all the things that we need, that I know we would need for the week. Yes. So that also helps me to stay in touch. So I know if we have run out of this, I'll check the kitchen and see what have we run out of, and go to the kitchen to buy things myself. Yeah. What else? So I think that's basically how I try to stay in touch. Yeah. Then, okay, some other things that I make sure I do myself is the immunization of the children. I've not really had to send someone to go do it. I make sure that I take time out from work, take them to the immunization, because I don't want a case where I will send someone to do it, maybe send an housekeeper. They will now be asking our question, what is the state of origin? The person cannot answer. It will look very embarrassing. So so even in those times where I was working in the audit firm, where it was a very fast-paced environment, I still make sure that I do it. I will do it, bring them, return them to school, and then go to work. So I make sure I do that for my children. Yes. I honestly used to try and do their homework with them every day, but there are many times where it became impracticable. Yeah, so I will just check maybe. And luckily for me, my first son is now grown, so sometimes I make him oversee the other children. If the little one is having struggles with his or her homework, I'll say, go and meet Erife. Erife, come and check what he's doing. So I think God is helping my ministry now. And yeah, so another good thing that has helped also is that I've transitioned from one job to another. So I'm also in a job where most time by 5 or 6 I am home, and that gives me a lot of time to still do many things. So I'm no longer in that kind of job where I close late anymore. So I think that's an advice for anyone that is watching me. If you're a young career woman, as you continue your career, be making moves to change your jobs, so that you can change job from that very fast-paced environment where you close very late to the one that gives you more time. And honestly, I think these things come with experience. The more experience you have, the higher the chance that you get a job where you don't have to. They don't measure your value by you closing very late or coming very early. Your value is now measured by the expertise you bring. So I think these things happen as you progress. So oftentimes, as a young graduate, for instance, you have to go in early, close late, because that's the only way maybe they can measure how hardworking you are. But these things get better as the years go by, I guess.
That's true. Sincerely, sincerely, I've really learned those silent time. I learned a lot. I used to say that I don't really have a family figure to looking at husband and wife like this when I was growing up. Then I was able to live in your house, silent and learn my lesson and implement it here. Sometimes you do not want to accept something. I say that's how we do in our uncle's house. I know just like that, you have to
Yeah.
work with what works for you, but there are some good examples that you see, no matter how it's not working for you, you just want to implement sometimes
Yeah.
because you have seen this work for this person. My husband is very busy to leave young work for me to do, no matter how busy I am. Because that's the time for me to know, even the auntie, oh, that's one thing I do also best. I try to communicate with their caregiver in school also to be able to know. Yes, you can ask your question, Sam Larry. You can drop a question as time goes on. You answer the question. Thank you. He said Sam Larry said our guests look beautiful.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for that.
Thank you.
Please just join me. Please double tap on your screen. If you have any question as we progress on this live stream, drop it. We'll get to answer it. Please drop your question as you see this video. You know, she was able to mention a lot of things because she's a career person, and I'm telling you that the way she balances it. Okay, she said she's not balancing it right, but me, I would say the way she balancing it to me means you're able to juggle them together, and one is not leaking behind. You are trying to put everything, even though you might not be really perfect, but to an extent you are doing your best, and that is what we need. You know, I've learned it, like she said, that doing their own work, you are connecting with them, dating the children yourself. You know, sometimes some people will just like, since I have a housekeeper, since I have help, then everything should be left to them. I think I'm able to learn that also from you over the years, and I'm happy as you're still saying the same thing. Like your Saturday, I know then that Saturday you just take it upon yourself to come to their room to check their clothing, come to their room, oh yeah, I want to bathe you today. It's not as if you don't have anything to do, but you just take it upon yourself that this is my child and not this person. And I think that's one thing one of two of us should get straight today. Because you have somebody to help you, that doesn't mean you should overwork the person all the time. And she was able to tell us that looking at it, no matter how busy the day or the week might be, over the weekend you get.
Hello, everyone watching us. So I think she has an internet glitch on her hand, but I'm sure she's doing something to get back on. So just give us some time. We'll be right back on. Thank you. And Songo Larry, I saw your question. Why are girls more close to their fathers and boys to their mothers? Okay, so I'll just wait for her to return so we can take it before the end of the session. Thank you, and keep your questions coming. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, are we back?
ah, thank you, my yes, my network.
Yeah, I understand.
Do better. Thank you, man. So we're just saying that no matter the kind of help you have, you should try to help the help so that the help will not feel used too much. I think that was what
Exactly.
she was trying to tell us back there. So, but should I just take a minute to pause and answer the question? She's
Okay.
someone is trying to ask you a question, mother. Why are girl child always close to their father and the boy child are always close to their mother? Is there any conclusion on that based on statistics or something? Or are you experiencing that also? I know you have a girl child and you have boys. In yeah, or you are not
Uh,
able to.
I don't know. I believe there should be a scientific explanation for that. I guess opposite sex probably attracts. So maybe that's the explanation. So, but what I've seen is that this usually just happens in their young age. Even eventually people the when they become adults they will then see the value that both the father and the mother brings to parenthood. So hopefully by the time they become adults and begin to parent their own children they will then see that my father, both of them should get the same amount of love and closeness from me. But I think at that young age the reason may just be that opposites opposite sex maybe attract. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
So
Just
that,
well
yeah.
complain. This one that cannot even grow, you complain. Say when I pass now, you start crying. When you not crying before, once you see me, you start crying. No, I will just that's normal crying. That one is not about anything. It's not about
Yeah.
anything. But I think
Yeah.
it's somehow because even me myself when I was in school, literally people will be saying, "Do you have a mother?" Because I had to talk about my mother. Anything you hear is my father, my dad. That people say, "Actually,
Yeah.
do you have a mother?" I said, "I actually have." And it is the
Yeah.
mother that is not helping me now.
Yeah.
We will surely balance everything. The child will surely balance it as time goes on. So I
Yeah.
don't want to take much of your time, but I just want to also talk about your career. So over the years, I know you said you finished working able to do even after the BSc. I know you have a lot, but also to know how we can put ourselves together as a mom or as a wife because you are married, you should not be limited and all that. Just help us in that space over the years, how you have been able to get your certification, the challenges you have had, even having you have help, but still you are a mother, you are a wife,
Mhm.
you have responsibility. How are we able to do that over the years?
Okay. So so I am a chartered accountant. I got my qualification from the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria. That's ICANN. And that exam I passed it before just about the time I graduated. So because I was in the university when I was also writing my ICANN examination. So there wasn't so much of a challenge. I was a student anyway, so my brain all I was using my time for was to either study for the university's exam or study for ICANN exam. So and luckily I passed the entire ICANN exams just about the time I graduated. So after that, I went for youth service. So as I returned from youth service, I came back from youth service with some huge savings. I was part of those who did elections in during my youth service. So I came in with some money. So I thought to myself, okay, I can use this money to pursue a master's in the University of Lagos. So while I was searching for okay, yeah, so I think I started it and then, of course, I started working. Then I started the master's program. That's an MSc in finance, also in the University of Lagos. So, and that's how I've made the move. But recently, after that MSc, I didn't do anything else except for some short courses. I know you knew there was a time I was learning French. Oh my God. And I mean, I will continue to learn French, even though I've not been able to speak more than bonjour. So I registered with Alliance Francaise. I started taking some classes and it was all going well. But along the line, I got pregnant. So I couldn't continue anymore. So anytime I need to return, I'm sure they will ask me to start from the beginning again. But I really love the idea of learning will I say learning a third foreign a second foreign language, let me say. And French is my best choice. So I would still do something in the future to keep up with learning. Okay, so it was only until recently I decided to upskill. Like I decided to because I now saw that I am approaching I'm now dealing with the top executive in my place of work. And for the future that I envision, I see that I need some skills. I need to widen my leadership skills, my critical thinking. I need to strengthen my commercial acumen, to be more strategic in my dealings. Yeah, because as you begin to rise in the career, it's no longer about your technical skills. It's no longer about whether you can prepare an account, whether your account will balance or not. It's now more about your ability to strategize and help the business achieve its wider objective. So that led me to apply for an executive MBA with the Lagos Business School, which I started this year, and it has been a beautiful experience so far. Yeah. So then I think I also apply for a financial model. As you say, I'm always, just trying to be a better version of myself. So because I know there's never an end to learning, and self-development will always pay you multiple returns. If you develop yourself, you would earn from it more than you can ever imagine. So I'm also started training for financial modeling. I paid for that course, but I had to put it on hold because of the executive MBA that I just started. And by the way, I also decided some years ago to start ACCA. So ICANN is a Nigerian institute for chartered accountants. Yeah, but I thought to myself that, okay, what if an opportunity comes, maybe an international opportunity, and for some reason they are looking down on my ICANN certificate, for some strange reason. What can I do to better my lot so that I don't miss out on opportunities that comes from international, organizations? So I decided to start ACCA, and that has been the toughest exam of my life because I am doing it while I'm now married. I'm working. Unlike ICANN that I did while I was in school, I was just passing ICANN as if ICANN is is puff puff. But this HC has showed me shake the banser. But to God be the glory. I only have one paper left, and I'm writing that paper in September 3rd. Hopefully, I will pass it, and I will be really glad. So that's just it. So as a woman, whether you're a woman or a man, I personally believe that you shouldn't settle for less. You shouldn't settle for an average life. You should. I believe that it is God's desire that we become a better version of ourselves at every point in time. And if being a better version of yourself requires additional training, if it requires you sitting for an examination, if it requires you going to learn work, learn a new skill, please do it. you know so as they say, nobody's going to come help you. You're an adult now. When you were a child, you'll be looking up to your parents. Mommy help me, daddy help me. You are now an adult. Some of us are even now parents, with children looking up to us. So you should help yourself. Sit up and do what it takes to help yourself. So whether you're in business or you're in a career, always think of a beautiful future. You can't just be running your business the same way for 20 years, 25 years. Always ask yourself, what can I do to make this business, better? What can I do to increase my customer base? What can I do to diversify the product I'm offering? What can I do to differentiate myself from the competitors? You should always be thinking big. Thinking big doesn't cost anything. Just close your eyes and think. So do it and then begin to ask yourself, okay, so this future that I've envisioned, what are the things I need to do to see myself, in that future? So I mean, so that is it for me. Because oftentimes when we see successful people, we think the success just came upon them, all of a sudden. For many people, it didn't come all of a sudden. They put in a lot of hard work behind the scene. Those hard work that we don't want to put in. Those nights of burning, should be midnight candles. They put it in, and then luck smiled on them, or how do they say? Opportunity came, and they were prepared for it. So prepare yourself for the future opportunities you are trusting God for. That is my mindset, and that is why it seems I keep doing things. In fact, there's one thing I've not even talked about. Now that I tried the decoration.
I want to
I
talk
tried.
about I'm
I
very
tried.
interested.
As I am like this, I've registered. I think I've registered like two businesses with CAC. I registered one ushering event, the choice ushering event.
Detroit.
Yeah, the choice. And I went for like five events that I had ushers go there. They paid me. But along the line, I saw I couldn't really scale with that. Yeah, so I left it. Then at a point, I went to go learn decoration from a top tier decorator in Ikoyi. But that one too, I think I later saw I don't have the energy to be climbing ladder, and so I left it. But you see, I mean, there's no harm in trying things and maybe failing or not succeeding at it. It is in those various attempts you build resilience, you acquire business in your business skills, you become tough on your inside, and the right opportunity will come and you will be the most prepared person for it. So I am not discouraged at all by maybe the amount of I've spent trying to start some new things. Right now, Seth, I started selling traveling box. I bet make you help me buy.
I wanted to ask you that.
I started I started selling traveling boxes. Okay, but I've only made one sales. Yeah, maybe if I make more sales, I'll turn into a business. And how did the traveling box idea came? In our executive MBA class, one of the classes on management communication, the lecturer gave us an assignment that we should all prepare a 2 minute pitch and you sell any product or any service to our classmates, and we should sell it in such a way that will persuade them to sell. So I thought to myself, this assignment now, what will I sell? Because I used to think of myself as a service oriented person. I never thought I could sell a product. I thought I could just do things for people. I didn't know I could, sell things. So I thought to myself that there's this traveling box I bought recently, and I was amazed with how flexible and how affordable it was. I said, okay, let me sell this, and I did it, and the whole class, kind of applauded me after I presented my 2 minute speech. Even the faculty, he was the first person to patronize me. So this is
Wow.
how these things happen. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know if you have
When
any
I check
questions. Yeah.
that, because one you are not more using. When I check last next slide, that's another one. Okay.
Yeah.
There's something our pastor, even in the spiritual sense, used to say. He said, you cannot just continue praying on anointing oil, praying on your head, and you don't have anything doing. The anointing will not do anything. Just like you said that
Exactly.
you cannot just sit down there and not improve on yourself. You cannot just sit down there and say people should value you when you don't have anything to offer. And I
Yeah.
remember my boss used to fight us about. He used to take us like those places that you have to walk in a big place. And we are
Mhm.
young. We are like, you're supposed to know this is not how to attend. We'll be like, sir, we are just trying to navigate our way. But he wanted that high sense of
Mm.
it that you have always seen. But I know that by time everyone will grow. Just like I'm saying to people that it's not as if motherhood will make me give up my career. It might just be for a little while that there will be a pause. There might be
Mhm.
a pause, but once you just have it in the back of your mind that this should not be your limitation, man, that
Exactly.
most of the time, sometimes you're not careful. Motherhood will just limit you. It will just
Mhm.
come from nowhere. You're not careful.
Mhm.
Even that mindset, even when I stopped work, you can hardly see me sleeping the never. I'm
Mm.
on something, doing one thing or the other, trying to pull many things together. But God will be like, you're not tired. I think I'm tired, but I cannot just go and sleep when I think I should know this or know that. And
Yeah.
when I something I'm doing now is the result of where I've worked. I now use
Mhm.
Canva today. I now use some things really. I was like, wow, if I'm not learning this while I was working with Mr. A, Mr. B, I know
Mhm.
you might remember that I worked with a particular woman in the ministry, and I was looking as an EA for her. It is not that I feel sorry for the woman. She said that I was not doing enough for her. It's when I started learning about virtual assistant, I began to see that it was more broad than what I was doing for her.
Wow.
Sincerely, I wish to God apologize, but I didn't do so well because I
Mhm.
saw that a whole lot when I started. Because I did a particular training late last year, immediately I gave back. I was able to do the virtual assistant because I wanted to just do something remotely. Maybe I'm
Mm.
tired of jumping up and down for the fact that I always see work on the island, not really on the mainland, and where we are living is back to back. But that's
Yeah.
not an excuse. But I just wish that I see something that I can do online that will just instead of you going up and down, or you can have maybe 2 or 3 days go and come back. But still, that should not be an limitation because you are not involved. I've seen some people that will just like, oh, these children are not aligned, and you can see some people doing so well even with the children that
Yeah.
some people didn't have, and though they help maybe one family member or the other helping or
Yeah.
help, they will be able to navigate the whole. There's still a woman in the way. I still look out for her. She was the HR manager when I was there, Mrs. Kuti or something. Sometimes I can see her on LinkedIn, I will be like, God, what am I doing with my life? Because you see them go well, even till now. How many years
Mm,
ago I get maybe close to 10 years now? And you can still see them as sometimes when I see a woman doing well, I'll be like, wow, then there should not be limitation for us. It's just
yeah.
a cry and a call to take action for us, for me. Because it's challenging me in some things which I will go back and think about my life after and I will watch
Mm-hmm.
the replay of the video. I will be able to think through that what am I not doing right. Because sometimes you can just feel like you are doing enough and you're not doing anything. Not
Mm-hmm.
even you yourself think you are doing. I know that you have some people that are doing more than what you are doing and you see
Of
desire to
course.
do more. That is what we should always aim at. Not being limited with whatever that comes our way or not being okay with the level that we are. I know
Mm-hmm.
God will help us. Yes, God has his part to play. And as individual, we also have our own part to play. Because just like
Yeah.
you said, she's writing exams. Sometimes I look at it, how did she juggle her everyday work with the children in between, being a wife and also writing exams. Even
Mm-hmm.
then, there are so many writing exams. Some people find it difficult to pass exam. Not
Yeah.
even with the fact that they are now married and trying to
Yeah.
navigate all those things through. That's why sometimes they will say, gather everything you can gather before you get married. But I don't think it is possible for you to get everything. Because as we
Yeah.
evolve in life, other opportunities will come, we'll get to know many things. And also financial constraint also is something.
Yeah.
Because I know
Yeah.
that sometimes all the time, people my own sincerely, if I remember that now, I don't know what to call it. But if you ask me that there's a particular thing I know you can remember. The
Mm-hmm.
particular thing I've told you now for many years now, I've not even connected with someone that will
Mm-hmm.
help me. The man still used to chat me or something like that. When will you be ready? I'll look
Mm-hmm.
at myself and say, it's not like you are not ready, but sometimes I want you to advise us on that. Sometimes you might be looking at the big figures that you need to pay for that particular professional course, and you will not want
Mm-hmm.
to take steps. I don't know if it have happened to you, man, before, or do you just go into it like, okay, let me just do this, or you count your cost before going into it? I want you to advise us on that. For
Yeah.
some people, that need to look at the total figure before thinking of, oh, I don't think I can do it. Can you just advise us on how to go about it?
Okay, yeah, so of course, the wise thing to do is to count your costs before embarking on any project. But the cost should not be the major reason to deter one from going ahead. Because what I've often found that is that sometimes as you make further inquiries, you will now find out that there might be some maybe scholarship or some flexible payment plan. For example, this executive MBA program with LBS, if I had just thought of the cost, which is what you will probably see on their website or when you ask anyone, is very huge. Okay. But by the time I started making inquiries from the school, reaching out to them, even went to the school, I began to realize that the payments can be made over five installments. So you see, until you begin to make inquiries from outside, you will just hear, oh, I'm just giving an example. You will just hear, oh, this program is 50 million naira, and you'll be like, 50 million, even if I sell the whole of my village. But it's when you begin to make inquiries, visit the school, visit the website, engage, call, you will now find that, oh, we have scholarship for African women, or we have, you can make your payment over whatever installments, so you can see the possibility of some help around there. That's one. Two, I believe that if one is really really determined to go for the project, there will be a way out. Maybe not immediately, but at least in the nearest term, there will be a way out. Because that's why the fact that there is no money, we all eat, we all wear clothes, we do photo shoot, we do those things that you spend money on. You do birthday party and all of that. Those things are not cheap. You will pay for them. You won't go to Lagos Island with empty purse. But so I believe if one, let me not say you, so it will be as if I'm talking to you. if one really prioritize self-development, if you really prioritize that project, you will find a way for it. If even if that would mean that during that period you would limit, you will reduce your other expenses. If it requires you telling, if there are people that you send money to normally, you may have to tell them, hey Joe, I'm running a program and it's costing me this. I may not be able to give you as much I used to give you. Let people around you have to know that this girl or this man is doing something. You can't be a man, for instance, maybe you are building a house and you are still expecting that you will continue to spend money the way you like. Everybody around you must know. Please, oh, I'm doing a building project. So when they ask you for maybe 100,000, you tell them, sorry, I may not be able to give you more than 30,000. There is this building project that I'm doing that is costing me a lot. But the problem is, we want to live our lives as normal and expect that somehow the money for that project will just appear. And when it doesn't appear, we'll now say, well, it's because I don't have money. Oh, okay. So I think it's a matter of priority. If you really prioritize it, you will make a way for it in your finances. While you may not be able to do it immediately, you'll be able to establish a timeline. So, okay, if I can maybe save up to 18 months or so, I'll be able to start. You will at least have a timeline in mind to start. But a case where you never even prioritized it, you would never start because it's not in your radar of things to do. Yeah.
I know God will help us.
Amen.
I know for myself. We will do better. We will do better. God will help.
Amen.
We will do
Amen.
better. As we round up, I want you to just tell us, like, over 11 years now, what are your top three lessons you have learned being a wife, being a mother, and also a career woman? What can you just summarize to be three lessons you can tell that you have learned being a wife, being a mom, and also a career woman? What will you say to
Mm.
us?
Okay, so I don't know if I've up to three, but I will start maybe before I finish number one and two. The third one will come. So the first lesson that I've learned, which I think I've mentioned before, is that marriage is not 50-50. Mhm. Because most time we think we should in marriage we are supposed to share the burden equally. It doesn't have to be. So it depends on the circumstances per time. So it could be 70-30, 80-20, 60-40. Depends on each couple's, peculiar circumstance. So if you are trying to do something, for instance, at that point in time you want to do that thing, it depends on who has the capacity to do more at that time. So if you go into marriage with the mindset of, I must share things equally with my husband, or if you go into marriage with the mindset of, my husband must do more than I do, you are setting yourself up for a lot of problems. Because some women have that mindset that, my husband must carry more financial burden, for instance, than I do. While it is a good thing, but you have to look at your own peculiar circumstance. At that point in time, is that man capable of carrying the burden 100%? If he is not, and I am able to support maybe with 30% or 40 or 50 or 70 or even 80, then I should. So it's not a game of who does more than the other. You are a team, and whatever you are able to do, you do it as a team. The glory will be to God and to both of you. So that's number one. And this thing even comes even to taking care of the children and all of that, depending on the circumstance. Right now, for instance, my husband is working remotely, and that gives him more. It gives him more opportunity to look after the home more than I. So you see, the circumstance has changed. There was a time we were both fully engaged, but now he has more time. So because he has more time, he's able to give more time. So you see, these things can differ as you journey through marriage, but just enter marriage with the mindset that at every point in time, you give. The person who has the capacity to give more should give without thinking that it has to be 50-50 or 100 and 0. That's one. The second lesson is also that it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I don't know. People look for perfect spouses, look for perfect children, look for perfect everything. and that is when they begin to have the lots of disappointments. Yeah, so in marriage, your children will make mistakes. Sometimes their grades in school may not be so good. Sometimes they may not be as tidy as you think they should. You shouldn't kill them or kill yourself over it. You should extend some grace to yourself, extend some grace to your children, extend some grace to your spouse. Sometimes your spouse may not remember your birthday or may not remember to buy you gifts on your anniversary. It doesn't mean they don't love you. They are just humans. So I think I've learned that you have to remember that the other party in that marriage is a human being, not an angel, not God. So sometimes they can forget to do things. Sometimes they can be lazy and all of that. It doesn't make them a bad person, and it doesn't. It shouldn't bring an end to the marriage. So what is the third point? Of course, let me mention God. Let me mention God that God is the Yoruba will say opomulero. God is the pillar that can hold any marriage. Because no matter how prepared you think you are, challenges may come that you were never prepared for, and it is only God that can help one in such situations. And these challenges can take any form. It can be you can have issues with conception. It can be issues with the health of one child. It can be loss of job. It can be anything. You can't tell the kind of challenge that may come up in your marriage, and that is why we should always trust God when the times are good, when the times are bad, and just work together as a team. That is it. Work together as a team. And of course, don't compare your spouse with someone else. This person's husband
Yeah,
is taking him out. This person's wife is kneeling down when he gives him food. Don't compare. There was a reason why you chose your spouse amongst all the suitors or all your
yeah.
prospective beautiful ladies. So now you have chosen him or her. Just forget about what others do. If there are areas of improvement, you can communicate in love, and hopefully there will be some changes. And if there's no
Wow.
changes, if it's not something detrimental to your existence, sometimes you need to overlook too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, something I learned from Pastor Midred. She would say, when you are married, you hold your joy. Because sometimes you might feel shaky from what your partner did to you. But if you have your joy with you, she will say, hold your Jesus one hand, hold your joy in the other hand. So that in case the man not give you that so much joy that you want, then your own joy is with you. But
Exactly.
it's a great time with you actually. And it's a learning time for everyone online. You're on this live stream. If you have any question for us, please drop it and should we answer as time goes on. If you're catching up with the replay, you can also still drop your question. If you see it along the line after now, she will surely attend to it after now. So I want to ask you, there's something they call mom guilt. Have you ever for once felt more guilt because you gave your child to some caregivers to take care of for you, spending the time you're out there and all that? Do you feel more guilty at any point in this your motherhood journey?
More guilt. More guilt.
And like you're not able to do enough for them, you're not there for
Mm.
them at a point that. So some people feel
Mm.
that.
Well, yeah. So I'm personally the type of person that believes in I believe in checking the education, the progression that they are making in the academics. So there were times I got really busy. I couldn't check their homework. And my children in their school, they have a communication book that ideally, as a parent, you should sign. So there are sometimes like for weeks, I didn't even I didn't sign. So by the time I will open it, I'll now see that, hey. So in my mind, I feel like, hey, I hope the teacher of this child will not be thinking this child, your mom doesn't even care about you. And in those communication books, sometimes the teacher may have sent a message. Maybe they may have said, please trim Morire's nails, or please do this. But because I never even looked at the book, I didn't see it until several weeks later. So at such time, I do feel guilty that, oh no, how can I be, parenting my children this way? Yeah, so but but it is what it is. It's not a perfect, it can't be a perfect zone. The times that I'm able to do it, I do it very well. The times that I'm not able to do it, I give myself some grace. The children will also turn out well by the grace of God. We are all in this together. Okay.
I'm so sorry, guys. My data got exhausted. So I just tried to pick that. Hello, man. I'm back. It is well.
Right. Welcome back.
Thank you, man. My
Thank
data
you.
got exhausted. So I have to pick it again.
Oh,
So
okay.
sorry, man. You're talking about the communication.
Yes, yes, yes,
You
yes.
know, I
So
was very happy to my son to started picking communication book. I was happy that hey, what I used to see in the Facebook that I couldn't sign, I cannot sign my own.
welcome to the world of signing communication book. I bet you will soon get tired of it.
He said, so you were saying that one mom guilt you had was that you were not able to sign for a while and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Or maybe sometime assist them with their own work at times. Yeah. Especially for the little one. Erifa is now my first child for those who are watching us. My first child is now grown, is 11 years. No, he's 10 years. So, I mean, he's a big boy, can handle his own work himself. And yeah, I mean, and he's brilliant. So, the second one too is doing well and he can get assistance from the first. But the last one, he needs to be guided, or else he will color everything and and finish the whole book. The whole book meant for the term. He
Yeah,
will finish it in one day. So I've had a few times where by the time I flip through the pages, I will see that maybe the way he did some of the homework wasn't correct. Either because the housekeeper or whoever assisted him didn't pay attention, or maybe the person didn't know better. So in my mind, I was like, hey, God, how could they have submitted this incorrect, homework to school? And I just imagine what the teacher will feel, marking it and wondering, didn't these people, these boys' parents, they don't didn't they go to school or what? But yeah, it is what it is.
do
So we
you
get
know
it
that
right sometimes, and we hope to do better.
so there's one of my friends who tell me that anytime she's not able to help her son to do his homework, that she won't put the book in his bag of that. She will withdraw the book from the bag. So the next day when they're able to fix it, now I will say, the auntie will have gotten your trick to the fact that Anytime you need to be over, you put it back at home and you say that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Sincerely, that was a lot.
Hmm.
That's good. Thank you for sharing that. Just one,
Hmm.
just two questions to go before you tell us any other. But there are some questions they are already dropping in. I think there are two questions already. We attend to that. So we are joining in. We want to ask our guests any question. Just do what to drop it. Ah, I thought the next one to take me away. I think there's one question, personal question to you. I said, how do you ensure that you don't lose yourself while serving as a mom, as a wife, and in your professional space? How do you ensure that you don't lose yourself?
Sorry, take that question again.
The question is, how do you ensure that you don't lose yourself as a mom, as a person in the professional space, and as a wife also? I know there's difference between being a wife and a mother. So that three things, as a wife, as a mom, and a career person, yes, like wow, how do you ensure that you don't lose yourself to these things?
Ah, now God they help also. Because the truth is sometimes you feel like you are being torn into pieces. So you've had a very hectic time at work. Immediately you come back, as you are coming, yeah, mommy, mommy, they are complaining. This one did this, this one reporting themselves to you, and in your mind you're like, hey, God, I beg. And of course, at night time you still have to perform mommy, be wife duties to daddy, and your mind be like, ah, Chefe family. But I think that's still the beauty of motherhood, because the day you stop the day I mean, because there will be a time will come where these children will no longer really need you. Like they
Yes,
won't really, if they call you, it's not because they need you, it's just maybe they just want to say hello. And you begin to
that
look back to those times where they needed you. For instance, I don't really need my parents for anything, not even for advice. So oftentimes when I call, it's just to say, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Meanwhile, there was a time in my life where I needed them for every single thing, and they would have been feeling so special, so overwhelmed. So that time will come. Even that your husband that you think is demanding, every night for this and that, that time will come where he will no longer demand because he's also aged. So I think we should savor this moment, savor this, enjoy this time where you are like that superwoman. Everybody is rushing you left, right, and center. At work, they are rushing you. At home, husband and children, they are rushing. Even in church, you are that very, very helpful sister in church. I think it's a beautiful moment. Yeah. But of course, there's a need to strike a balance so that you are not burnt out, because
yes,
stress can kill. So make sure you don't chew more than you can handle. The things, okay, for instance, there's one thing I started doing, and I was asking myself, how come I didn't do this all this while? Well, maybe I didn't have enough money then. So I started giving my clothes to dry cleaner. Not all of my clothes, I mean my office clothes to dry. And it's even so cheap, it's not expensive. So it's not even a matter of pay whether you have money. It's so cheap. I think it's maybe 400 naira per whatever. I don't know how they calculate. But it comes out really quite cheap enough. One can afford to do it. And by the time you give them, by the time the clothes comes, is iron, is looking so neat, ready to wear. I said, God, why didn't I do this all these years? Why should I be wearing rumpled clothes? You wash your clothes, you will now see bothering about how to get it ironed. If there is no light, you'll be worried. But when you give it to a dry cleaner, they get it done, they bring it to you looking all new. Those are some of the things that I do so I don't lose myself. So that at least the little time I now have can be spent maybe with the family or for my personal development. Yes. And what other things do we do? Okay, some helpful tips are things like buying in bulk. It also helps. So you don't have to keep buying things every day. Although I don't even do that as well as they should. I have people that will cook for like a month. They will cook their soup for a month, 2 months. They will go to mile 12. I don't have all that energy. Yeah, but I think those are some of the things people do just to reduce the stress. By the time they do it once and for all, they know that for the next 2 months or one month, they have enough supplies in the house. What other things do I do to so I don't lose myself? I just trust God for strength, honestly. And maybe in the church too, I try to avoid some responsibilities, because when you are when you are when you are a likable
People are
person, they will be giving you posts, do this, become that. You have to step back a bit, and it's better for because I believe it's better for me to just hold one title and deliver a very good job than for me to be the head of usher, to be the choir mistress, head of children department, everything, and you are failing in all. So I try to, even though they are pulling from here and there, I try to just limit my responsibilities so I can deliver well and don't break down. I think those are some things what can do. And to me, the truth is that what has helped for me is that I am not a perfectionist. I don't need you to be so perfect. So I think it helps me. Some people are they are by their nature, they need everything to be in the right place. So even after they've had a very hectic day, by the time they enter the house, maybe the one flower vase is on the floor instead of being, they will be shouting up and down, why is this not here? Why? No, I'm not like that. Let it be as it is. We will all be all right. When we have time, maybe on Saturday we'll clear it up. So I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not, everything must not be prim and proper. Because I understand that we are all humans and we are all in this journey of doing life. None of us have done life before, so nobody has experience of being alive before. So I just run things as simple as I can. So I don't expect too much from my husband. I don't expect too much from people who work for me. Let them just do what is and let them just do what is basic. Every other thing will find a way around it. So I think it has helped. Yeah, it has helped.
sincerely
And
because
and
you
one thing
have
I
me
did,
that
let me just add this. One thing I have also done is to learn driving. It has also eased my life. Yeah, because at least I don't have to be waiting on my husband to drive me everywhere. If I need to get somewhere, I can also help myself. So
yes,
yeah.
so yeah, that's true. Because that limitation sometimes it's a lot. You start waiting because sometimes there will be time available, but you cannot just move it until the
Mm.
man is around. Yeah, that's good. Me sometimes when I'm in this house and I'm not getting my time, you just see me. They will not know that I went to go and sleep. I can leave my phone on the chair. My husband will think, because when you take something, I don't go sleep. We cannot come and clean it. I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that a lot. Sometimes you have things that you have gotten a hold of me, like that one I sneak it like that. I want to go and do. So I'll just get a little distracted. I'll do one or two things. Then before you see, I'll go on because sometimes if you are not careful, you are, and that thing you said about not being looking for things perfect, it means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a
Mm-hmm.
time when my toddler was there, I would want to keep everything. Oh, I don't want to put this one in the bag. But now my hobby, if you see me, you like scatter it, I will take care of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I will take care of it. I don't know we help every one of us sincerely.
Amen.
But how do you as a family, how do you find the time to get together? How that from just being at home with them? Do you have that time with the children? And just like, let's just get away from this house. But my mother used to say sometimes that let's just leave this house, let's just leave this house, let's leave this house and feel another environment. Have you guys have that over the years? Like you just leave your comfort zone somewhere else. See, sincerely, I used to wish to this vacation time. You see people online, though we're not living with social media thing. But you see people online this August. It's just a vacation, this and that. Okay, the time will come actually. But now
Yeah,
let us ourselves in this space. Have
yeah.
you guys been home had that time of a great time with the children alone, or because I will say here online that sometimes I look at how do you manage it? I'll say it again. Like your house is always with somebody. Like I don't think you have really been alone just because
Mm-hmm.
I know you are that
Yeah.
you can just say on it that I don't think I've really been alone in that house for like
Mm-hmm.
a month straight, both you and your husband and your children. How do you
Mm-hmm.
navigate that? Then also the fact that you have time out to be with your family alone, sometimes without the help or without interference or I too I was one interference in your house at the point that
A good interference, right?
I just want to know that house is coping that house is always somebody here and there, here and there. How have you been coping?
Well, as I said, I came from a large family, so I'm honestly used to having people around. And yeah, so if it's the other way around, meaning there's no one, it will even feel very odd. Because I'm used to, at every point in time, there's one sibling, one somebody around. I'm used to humans being around me. And as I said, I'm not a perfectionist. So I'm not the type that will say, who wore my slippers? Who touched this? Who touched that? I like people being around me. And I know that with that, it means that they will touch things. So I mean, except they are really very messy. That's when I'll, but if they're just living their normal lives or being humans, I'm very comfortable with it. Yes. So that being said, if we have private times without an housekeeper, of course, we do have such moments, but though not as often as my kids want it. My kids, left to them, they want us to be going out every weekend. I tell them that these things, it comes at a cost, so it's not that cheap. And aside the cost, it's even about the fact that there are many other things you also want to do. So it's really difficult to be having family time every weekend. But I think it will be a good thing if one can have it as much as often as possible, because I read somewhere that by the time your child is 12, you have already spent like 75% of the time you will have with them. What that means is that oftentimes by age 24, 25, your child will be out of your house. Maybe they have started working, they are now married. So it means you only have from like 0 to 25 years of your child's, time with you. So if you by the time they are 12, you have already spent over maybe more than 50% of the time you will have with them. So you have to make the best use of it, create memories that will last, and show them that you love them, and make them get exposed to the beauty of the environment around you. So as a family, we started trying to do that, though not as often as we should, but we'll continue to get better. So what we have started trying to do is to have a family vacation in July, because July is the month of our wedding anniversary. So we just plan, maybe go to a resort and just be there alone. And of course, the housekeeper is not there. Nobody is there. So we also use that opportunity for the housekeeper to travel, go meet their family, and have a good time. You can't be tying these people all around everywhere. They have a life. Yes, that's my belief. Let them, as the our president says, let the poor breathe. I believe that you should let your housekeeper let them breathe. Let them live a life. So anytime we are out like that, we give them the option. If they want to go visit their family, we allow them to do that, so that by the time we return, everyone is refreshed and able to continue. But aside that major, vacation period, one can always have some mini outing that would not, that will just be for a Saturday, a few hours, and you will still have a good time. And it may not even cost you so much. Like there was a time we decided to visit. I and my husband were we we schooled at the University of Lagos. So we just thought, oh, let's take these kids to visit the university, walk around. And luckily, University of Lagos has a, what do they call that place? Anyway, it's close to the lagoon, let me just say. So we took them there, they saw the lagoon. We bought maybe shawarma for them, and they were just happy being in a very free, safe, open environment. And by the time we came back, they felt good. So there are places like that you can visit that won't really cost you so much, but you would have given the children some good time. Yeah. So yeah. So one should, as I said, we are not doing it yet as we should. Our plan is to make it like a monthly thing. You just go out somewhere, not anything so expensive, and have some time to bond outside the house.
Yes, so that's a good one. But when you mentioned about not going to help, some people used to tag it like, if you take your children to a vacation or something, that you are still doing the work as if you are told. That stress of juggling your vacation that you're supposed to say, okay, I want to go and relax and all that you're still with children, you are not on vacation, you are just outside of your house. For me, I don't really believe in that. I thank God that you mentioned that you
Yes,
guys
you are.
will.
Yes, you are very right. To be honest, it's not easy. All the vacations we've gone to is always a lot of work. But I think what helps is that immediately we get there, I and my husband, we have already realized that we are on our own. So my husband also steps up, to look after them. So as I'm running after this, is he's keeping his eye on the other. Yeah. So, but it's part of parenthood. Yeah, part of parenthood.
And that will make the family bond more, at least for that
Mm,
period that you are out there. Since
mm-hmm.
it's so good. Yeah, the last question I will say is that what advice would you give to a younger woman that is trying to start on a journey as a wife, as a mother, and also pursuing a career? What advice would you give her?
Ah, the advice I will give is, first of all, go and watch this video from the beginning, so that you can hear all the advice I've given here and there. So, but as a wrap up, the advice will be that you should give yourself some grace. Okay, you won't get everything right from the beginning. As I've said, none of us, I have not been married before. This is my first marriage on earth. I have not come to this earth before. This is my first sojourn on earth. So it's not as if I have a cheat code, or a manual or something. So we are it's a journey. So there will be some mistakes, some imperfect moments, but give yourself some grace. Try to learn from your mistake. Try to be a better version of yourself. Try to look up to people who are doing well in their marriages. People who believe that marriage can work. They are the people you should emulate. Don't listen to people that say marriage is a scam, or marriage is not a good thing. The chances are, if you listen to them, your marriage will not turn out well. There are thousands and millions of people whose marriages are doing well. So those are the people you should look up to and try to emulate. Number two, your spouse is not perfect. He's human. He's not angel. So don't he's not, and he's not God. Don't put all your problems and burdens on him, and don't expect him to carry all your problems and burdens. And your spouse is not your competitor. So this one now, I'm speaking to even men. Your wife is not a competitor, is a support. So we should support each other. All right. And if there's anything that we have emphasized in this conversation today, is also that you should not lose yourself. Before you entered into that marriage, you had dreams, you had aspirations. Some of you were best students in your classes in school and all of that. You shouldn't get married and all that, becomes a thing of the past. You should still have those beautiful dreams, and as the time permits, you should work towards achieving those dreams. Even if you not do it for yourself, do it for your children. Some of the reasons why I do some of the things I do is because I don't want to give my children any excuse. I mean, if you have a mother who is a graduate, who is a chartered accountant, who is this and that, it gives you, that's enough inspiration to say that, oh, I cannot be anything less. At least I must maintain this standard. So I'm trying to raise the standards for my kids. So I think everyone else should also do so. Raise the standard for your generation. Don't be a mediocre. Don't remain at the bottom. Because if you're at the bottom, you give them reasons to say, well, even my father didn't do much. Why should I stress myself? My father was a graduate, so that was also an encouragement that this man, despite he came from a very humble background, he managed to get himself a BSc, managed to get to the top of his career. So that has been pushing me, and now I have surpassed him in most ways that I can think of. The same thing for my mother. And that's how it's supposed to be. My children definitely will be greater than I am. So every generation should seek that they put their best foot forward, so that their generation that comes after them can be better than they are. So that's just my advice to any young person just starting career. Get all the support you can. If you have in-laws that can assist you, don't be too proud. Humble yourself. Get all the help you can get from them, and I pray that God will make the affairs of your life to be easy. Okay. Our time is fast spent, so I think we should start maybe answering some of these questions right here, because I may have to drop off soon. One question from Songolari is, how can you deal with a husband that feel threatened with your exposure and influence? How can you deal with a husband that feels threatened with your exposure and influence? Hmm, that's a very big question. Currently, I'm not in that shoe. I'm not in that space. So I may not be the perfect person to give an advice in this regard, because my husband is not threatened by my exposure and my influence. If anything, he encourages me. But that being said, my advice would still be that such a woman should try to sit the man down and with love and with humility, explain to him how your success is going to be a benefit to the family. Welcome back. So while you were away, I was trying to address some of the questions we already have on the, yeah, because I see our time is fast spent and we may soon wrap up. So I thought I should address the question.
Yeah.
So the
Thank you,
question
ma'am.
here from Songolari is that how can you deal with a husband that feel threatened with your exposure and influence? So I was responding that in my case, I'm not in that shoe, so I may not be the perfect person to respond to that. But that being said, my advice would be that such a woman should try to sit the man down with humility, because already the man is threatened. So you can't, when you now want to sit him down, you can't afford to come from a madam point of view. You have to calm down, lower yourself, and try to explain to him how that your exposure and that your influence will be of benefit to the family. Any reasonable human being would likely listen to you if they can see that what you are doing will benefit them. Okay, so if you can try to make him see, if I do this, if I do that, I'll be able to increase my salary from this amount to this amount, and that house that we are building at wherever we are building it, I'll be able to support you to bring 100 bags of cement. If you can put numbers to these things and show the man how this will help the family, help him, I think there are higher chances that you will get his buy-in, you will get his support. Because what would often make some men to feel threatened is because they feel by the time you get really exposed and your influence begin to go far and wide, you will neglect them. You will not give them honor as it should, and you will just begin to acquire things for yourself in your name and all of that. But if you're able to calmly present to them the benefit that they would enjoy from this exposure, and the blessings that come from your influence, I think they may come to reason with you. And if that doesn't work, I think what people also do is to maybe speak with people who the man respects. You know, there will be somebody that the man listens to, that you can speak to. That I'm trying to make this move, but my husband doesn't seem to be understanding. Can you help us intervene? But in all of this, wisdom is profitable, and that's why sometimes some of this conversation is better even when you're not married, because you would have probably even see the sign that this is somebody who is threatened, who just wants you to be under him, under as in under him. Yeah, but maybe you threw caution to the wind, thinking that marriage will make it better. But now that you're in it, you just have to apply wisdom. You may not be able to go as fast as you should, because you want to be careful not to hurt his ego. But if you put it in prayers, also, the Lord can intervene. I'll take the next question. He says that there's a popular saying that most successful women hardly last in marriage. How true is that? Anyway, I don't have the facts and figures for this. I don't have the statistics of how many successful women did not last in their marriage. Okay. So, and I don't have the statistics of how many women who lasted in their marriage are unsuccessful, so yeah, so it's difficult to tell, because yeah, because this kind of question, the next thing it now leads to is, okay, so does it now mean a woman should be unsuccessful so that they can last in marriage? Yeah. So, and all the people that didn't last in marriage, is it because they were successful? Because there are some people that was not successful, yet their marriage did not last. So it means that a marriage that will not last may not last, whether you are successful or not. But anyway, that being said, I think one of the things that may make it look as though a successful woman will not last in marriage is that the same way power intoxicates, success can also intoxicate. Yeah, so one has to, so the responsibility lies on the successful person to now exercise caution And this applies both ways, whether man or woman. Chances are high that as you become successful, you no longer listen to others. You now believe that your view is more superior to the views of others. um you now don't have time for other people as you should. You don't have show empathy as you should, so the responsibility lies on a successful person to intentionally, calm down in his or her relationship with people, especially in marriage. You now have to be intentional about your relationship with your spouse, so that that success, which is a good thing, doesn't end up being a bad thing for the marriage. Yeah, so as I said, one of the ways to make this happen is that success, see it as our success. When you're presenting it, present it as our success. you know so by the time you make it a a success for both of you, it reduces the possibility that the other person will be feeling inferior or feeling like an unachiever and all of that. So another thing is, you just have to separate your home front from your maybe career or whatever venture that is bringing that success to you. If you're a career person and you're succeeding in the office, and you have a lot of people reporting to you, say yes ma, yes ma, yes ma. When you get home, you need to remember that you are a